speaker, coach, and AI geek, is on a mission to transform the way we communicate. Let me start that again. Karen Fox, dynamic speaker, coach, and AI geek, is on a mission to transform the way we communicate. Through her expertise in mastering communication, she empowers individuals and teams to care deeply, connect authentically, contribute meaningfully, and create results that resonate. Whether captivating audiences on stage or working directly with leaders, Karen's unique approach delves into the intricacies of effective communication. Recognized as a top 100 St. Louisan by Small Business Monthly and a top 15 coach by Influence Digest, Karen infuses passion, humor, a love for high heels, shopping, Reese's peanut butter cups, and all things AI into her impactful work. Today, she is going to talk about mastering the art of balance, 4 tools to thrive as an entrepreneur. Please help me welcome Karen Fox.
How many of you have ever had a business coach? Oh, I love that. I was sitting in the front seat with my mother, and I said, Mom, you're going to have to wait. I have a call with my coach. She looked at me and she said, you have a coach? You see, I was never the jock. I married the jock. So I understood her confusion. But with that business coach, it changed my life. One of the first things we talked about was time blocking. How many of you time block? Several. How many of you started and did a really good job and then you stopped? Guilty. But time blocking will change everything. And if you're not in charge of your calendar, someone is. When you go to time block, I chose colors because different colors meant different things. For me, green, I was generating money. You can pick whatever you want, but green is what I chose. The next one, red, of course, for anything urgent. Blue was client meetings and collaborations. Purple was reminders and follow-ups. And for me, I chose to use yellow because that was something sunshiny as my personal. And some people don't like to mix their calendars. I have to, or I would be lost. I cannot go between 2 calendars, so I have to keep everything on one. When you go to do your time blocking, this is what it looks like. And why I started with my coach is because he said, I need to see how many meetings you're attending. And then his next question was, how much revenue have you made from each of those? Oh. And he went through the whole list with me, and I said, yes, but that one I give back to. That's where I do mentoring. He said, that's great. I'll give you one. I said, oh. Because that was when I realized I was spending a lot of time because I liked people, not necessarily doing business. So I had to be careful when I'm color blocking here that I'm actually doing business, or otherwise business becomes a hobby. Now, which one of these is the best amount of time to block?
1 hour.
1 hour, 30 minutes?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. There is no right
So
answer.
let's say-
Come person.
Right.
They say our brains can only handle an hour at a time, and then they really start to shut down. And so that's why some can go 90 minutes, but for me, that doesn't work. 20-minute increments works best for me, but that may not be you. That may be just enough to get started and interrupt you. But you have to know what works for you, and it doesn't matter what anybody else does. So, but the one thing when you're doing your time blocking, if you'll do 30-minute segments, it's easier to interrupt those and do something to help with the brain. Like take a short walk. Darlene taught us the deep breathing this morning. Music, turn on music or dancing, because you've got to have a pattern interrupt here. Our brains get tired, and then we start to, as we've already heard, procrastinate. It's like, well, we could do something else, clean out the closet, there are emails, any of those kind of things. Counting backwards, I see the next messed up in there. Laugh. There is power behind laughing. So if it means getting on YouTube and watching a cat video, do it. But whatever it takes to laugh. Or get up and get something to eat or drink. What do any of you do? Is there anything different that you do? Yes, Lisa?
I'll do a bathroom break and then wander around the building a bit before I come back to work.
That's perfect. Get some time in there. Anything else? Anybody else?
I do the laundry.
Do the laundry. Roll the laundry and come back. That's a great idea. Mark?
Just play an online game for a few minutes.
Play an online game, right? It's
I do a series of energy exercises from Donna Eden, and it takes about 10 minutes, and it involves some motions and some
that's great.
postures and things like this.
Sure. So another benefit to it.
Love on my dog.
Love on the dog. Sweet babies.
I take little mini exercise breaks, do 10 squats and push-ups in between them.
Overachiever.
I look at my family, the pictures of what their achievements are.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So see, we can all do different things, but the point is you need that brain break. So as you continue, we have peaks and valleys in our day, correct? How many of you hit a valley about 2:30 in the afternoon? Oh, there's several of us on that pattern, huh? That is not the time I want to do anything important that I'm making decisions on. Because at that point, if I have an opportunity, I may take a nap. I only need a 10-minute one, but I may take that nap. Okay. Then back to those peaks and valleys. But you've also got to realize the time management that goes into it. You can use Calendly, and there's a ton of them. But setting up your appointments and making it go straight to a calendar where you can do that correspondence and you're not having to put time into it is the best time management you can do. How many of you spend a lot of time on email? I know I give poor Kathy Sexton a heart attack when she sees how many emails I have in mine. It depends on how you handle it and what you do. But I was just listening to a podcast talking about how we correspond and do everything in emails, which just makes that list, that thread keep going longer and longer, where if you choose to use other sites, like task management sites and collaboration, like Trello, Asana, ClickUp, Notion, Monday.com, those kind of places, you take part of that out of your email and you make it into a software where you're actually having correspondence that really means something, and you can take care of everything from there. Now, there's always, we know that the AI, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to get deep because that's not what it's about today. But with the AI, with the emails, it is so easy and so fast to ask it to write a quick email. With this one, I said, write a response to an email about wanting to set up a meeting. It gives you everything you need so quick. How many of you before would sit and go, well, now how do I want to say that? Does this sound too abrupt? Or what if you don't want to meet with them or you can't meet with them? You can ask it to help you with that as well. So time management goes into that. Social media schedulers, they've been around forever. But using them, you know, these are the top right now. Buffer, Hootsuite, Later, Sprout Social, and Metricool, which is one I'm using for a client that is incredible and a free one. So if you're not using that, you might want to check it out. Comes with a lot of analytics.
What do you mean by social media scheduler?
You write up all of your social media, and then you put it into this software, and it will send it out when you schedule it, whatever time you schedule it for. So that you're not sitting there every day trying to put it on. There's no way we can all get our social media done if we do it daily on each side. So it's our post. The next thing is setting boundaries. How many of you are guilty of having a hard time setting boundaries? Right there. Yes, because with what we do, we love helping people. So it's hard for us to say no. But you do know when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And that could be your family, or it could be growing your business. So learning when to say no and when to set those boundaries is a big part of time management. Kindness. We are kind to everyone else. But how kind are you to yourself? Darlene alluded to it earlier with, "You're an idiot." We're not usually kind to ourselves, but we need to think about that. Because again, what happens is when that goes into the brain, then we start to dwell on it. Yeah, that really was stupid. And then I did this, and I did this. Oh, well, I think about this 20 years ago, I did that. That's what happens to our brain. So in time management, make sure you're being kind to yourself. Say kind things. Give yourself grace. Take a digital detox. I know you all think, all I do is social media and all. You're thinking, take it. Absolutely. Our brains need that detox. That's why they tell you to cut it off earlier before you go to bed, so you sleep better. What do you do for downtime? What do you all do? Read?
Sleep.
Sleep?
Have a glass of wine.
Glass of wine?
Look out the window.
I'm sorry?
I look out the window.
Look out the window. Perfect. It's a place to daydream even, just to enjoy, or people watch, whatever. What else do you do for downtime? John?
I'll call people who I have not talked to in 20 or 30 years.
Another overachiever. Dale?
Yeah, I just take time, just let my mind wander. It's amazing some of the ideas you come up with when you just let your mind wander wherever it wants to go.
It's true. And again, that's that interruption pattern. So it helps you be better and come right back to it.
Play the guitar, maybe
Okay.
even write a new song.
Look at you. We have such talented people here.
I stalk birds.
Stalk birds.
I stalk birds. I sit on the deck and look at birds. I bird watch.
I like bird watching better than stalk birds.
Well, depends if you use binoculars or stalking.
Oh, okay. So that's a differential. Okay. Already done that. Tool number 4 is delegate and automate. I was thinking about, AI is artificial intelligence, but I also like to think of AI as automate ideas. Because we have all these ideas of what we think we should have in our business and what we want to do, and what we do on a daily basis. What better thing to do than to automate some of them? Tools for delegation goes back to the same thing, but it's the same for the automation. Top 5 things to delegate in AI is extracting action items from meeting notes, kind of what Kara was talking about with the otter, summarizing project updates, enhancing writing for clear communication, auto-filling tables with relevant data, scheduling meetings and managing calendars. These are the top 5 they're saying right now people are using AI for. And we all know it goes so much deeper than that. That's just the beginning. But just those little things can change so much. Now, I would like you to ask at your table, each table do it separately, what one thing in your business did you agree on you would love to delegate or automate most? So I'm going to give you just a couple minutes at your table here.
Transitioning out of being a virtual assistant, so I get a lot of random miscellaneous messages from clients. So not that project management piece of just putting it in my software to deal with later, because it always like stops what I'm doing and distracts me. So that would be my number one. The project management, yeah. Either automatically or if someone on my team, I do have a contractor, so even delegating to her in some way would be helpful. I don't know how I do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Or their emails that come in saying, I need this, and flow directly into project software.
I don't either, but I haven't thought about it until we talked about it, which is because now I'm thinking about it, I don't, project management, I guess, wasn't on there. It's called Moxie though, but they do tickets. So I'm wondering, because I haven't utilized them up until this point, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that might flow right in. I gotta write that idea. Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay, narrow it down. Who's next?
Coaching calls, I don't do a lot of coaching on Zoom.
Good to go. Is there anything else like you do on a day-to-day that feels like a bit taxing that you would like to delegate somebody?
Cleaning it up, taking out
Nice. Impressive. You
I like taking out all the transcripts.
Good to go.
Well, it's been a long time. You learn how to
Summarize, I tell them, give us something of what they,
We'll take it. I mean, hey, no problem. Sounds like a good thing to me. All right, Mark, what about you?
Okay,
Really? Oh. You have your fingers in the mix?
choose the one person from your team who's going to represent you. You can tell an idea that you either want to delegate or automate. And how about we start over here?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of AI for a lot of various things. Sarah uses it for a lot of ideation, I'll call it, right? Put in various ideas and have it come back and rephrase things for them. So I use it that way as well.
Did you try again? Why, thank you. Good. Okay.
We just talked about how we use it for social media, creating captions and things like that, but something that we'd love to do more is figure out to use it for processing of marketing and the process that goes into getting all those things scheduled and out.
Good. One thing I didn't talk about is Zapier is one of the things that you can make as a connection from one to another to make it work. Your table?
Yeah, I think we talked a lot about using AI to summarize meetings or Bill actually, and I've never heard of this before, using it on webinars where it can then give you a summary of the webinar that you heard. So various different kind of taking transcriptions and being able to utilize that using AI to clean it up and
Absolutely. Darlene?
why I like these. The writing, in particular, like helping to write things more quickly and then, you know, edit it. And then I just go out for research and find information fast. So, and then do some validate it.
Yeah, and we talked about enhancing the writing with your communication, depending on your audience, you know.
And again, how they take in information. Absolutely.
And your examples of your gives us a lot of opportunity for growth, so thank you for that.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, we talked about taking information about a project and getting it automated to go directly to the project to be dealt with whenever our schedule is blocked out to go to that project. Yeah.
It's placing these all together and then we work together. What a difference it makes.
At our table, we've had two people who were particularly talking about delegation, but John's in the district, he's got someone who just delegates.
Oh.
Some time ago, I was working with an attorney who had created an online system for contracts with all kinds of, whether it was with a virtual assistant or whatever, but I use it for client contracts, so the verbiage is there. And all I really usually have to fill in is what are the specific deliverables and what are the payment and payment plan. Because already in there, but I can choose what state to have things adjudicated in along with, is it going to be negotiated or are we going to court? So there's a lot of things I can choose and it just automatically plugs it in for the contract.
That automation changes everything. Makes a difference in what we can get done in a day, right? Thank you all very much. Enjoy your day.